you probably, I guess, did you first find out about this yesterday?
I did, yes.
Yeah, when you first realized what was going on, what was your initial reaction and thoughts?
Well, I was shocked. I heard about what had happened, and then when I actually read it and saw the comments and saw the screenshots of the actual post, I was heartsick. I was really shocked that not just an elected official would say those things, but that other people, other adults would pile on the way they did. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Obviously online people can be keyboard warriors. When you see other people kind of pile on, so to speak, do we lose a little bit of faith in humanity, kind of? I mean, just, being a human being.
I think it's important for people to take a step back and realize that words can actually hurt. We grew up with the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words do hurt. And we've spent so much time in the past year, especially, talking to kids about the harms of social media. And when we talk about those harms, we think of what kids do to each other online. We haven't really thought about what adults might be doing to kids and the harms that the adults might have on kids. And I think we all need to take a step back and take a breath and say, how am I contributing to this? Am I contributing to this? And resolve to be better, all of us.
Yeah. With respect to Natalie Cline, I would like to ask, what do you think is the appropriate course of action? Do you think she should resign?
I think that council member or board member Cline, I think the board member Cline has lost all public trust that she might have had. She should not be in a position of authority over kids. I do believe she should resign.
And I can kind of tell you don't take that position lightly. I mean, does it seem like we've kind of passed the point of no return with some of the behavior here?
This is not the first incident. It's a new low, however, and it's a startling new low. And anyone with any self-respect or dignity who dropped to that level would recognize it and maybe hold themselves accountable a little bit. I don't see that happening here, but I do think that she needs to be held accountable, and I do think she should resign.
And you think just resigning is accountability?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk real quickly about a message. What message does this send to parents all over the place? I know you're a parent. I'm a parent of an 8-year-old daughter. What message do you think this sends to parents all over the state?
We need to not jump on bandwagons. We need to make sure that we are seeing the humanity in everybody, especially in our kids. We've got to set the example for our children to follow. Our kids are going to follow our example. What kind of people do we want our children to be? Do we want them to be, we want to bring out the very worst qualities in our kids, or do we want to bring out the very best? And if we want to bring out the very best qualities in our kids, we need to exemplify those qualities ourselves.
And so what do you think we tell parents tonight?
Parents need to love other people's kids just as much as they love their own.
Yeah. Can I ask you real quickly about, there are some folks out there, Troy Williams with Equality Utah, that are saying things like, we've seen some bills that have been passed recently. I know you don't file the bills, you don't vote on them in your current capacity, but some bills have been passed, and they say that it sets a narrative for compromised communities. What do you say to that? Do these bills that have been passed set a certain narrative to lead to things like what we see out of Natalie Cline?
I think it would be wrong to excuse anybody's individual behavior on a bill or absolve them of personal responsibility because of something that happened or something they don't like that happened in the legislature. I think that's wrong. People need to be accountable for their own actions, and we do live in a society and in a state where we can hold two thoughts at once. We can say we want to protect girls in their private spaces, we want to protect girls' sports, and we want to be decent human beings and treat all kids with respect and dignity. I think we can do that as a state. I know we can do that as a state. This is not one example. This small example is not a good example of us doing that. But we can learn from it, and we can be better. And I have faith in the people of Utah that they will learn from this and be better.
Where do we go from here, do you think? I mean, obviously, whatever's going to happen with this board member is going to happen. From the seat that you sit in, sort of what do you think? Where do we go from here?
Well, I think people need to understand that it's not their job to police the kids. There's a process. That's what schools are for. We have a system in place. We need to treat other people with respect, and we need to stop questioning people. We need to stop being horrible human beings to other people that we think are different than us. Period. End of story. It's not that hard.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't. I asked you, what do we say to parents? What do we say to the kids, the students? There's a female that didn't ask for any of this. And here we are talking about it. The whole state is talking about it. What do we say to the kids tonight, do you think?
The kids in the state of Utah need to know that we love them, that we have their backs. We will not tolerate any abuse or harassment or targeting of any of them, regardless. None of them deserve this, especially by the adults that they should be trusting.